Show starts in 5 minutes.
Good evening, folks, and a hearty welcome to our drive-in theater. We have a wonderful evening's entertainment lined up for you, one that will provide several hours of pleasurable relaxation and diversion for you and your family. Did you fail to dress up for tonight's show? No tie, an old shirt and slacks, a house dress? Well, don't give it a thought. We're glad you came as you are. We just want you to enjoy yourselves.
Here's a new taste treat. The corn dog. Plump, juicy wieners are dipped in a thick, golden Southern-style corn batter that seals in all their freshness and flavor. If you like hot dogs, you'll love corn dogs. Everybody does. Try a corn dog with your favorite beverage. At the refreshment corner now. Corn dogs.
It's 4 minutes till showtime.
Yum, yum. It's time for a tasty and refreshing snack. We promise to satisfy your hunger, your thirst, your sweet tooth. So visit our refreshment center now. Let's go!
It's 3 minutes till showtime.
Men, there's a drive-in movie full of juicy people. Wow! It's a trap! Help! It's Pick! We've had it, men.
A pleasant aroma for you, but not for mosquitoes. Pick is easy to use. Light it and forget it. Pick's aroma keeps mosquitoes, gnats, and sandflies away. Pick is the best protection for barbecues, fishing and camping trips, or just relaxing in the yard.
So if you don't want our company ever anywhere, just light Pick and see what I mean? Bye!
Pick is on sale at the refreshment stand now. Show starts in 2 minutes.
Today we're interviewing a stomach.
Hello there.
What is life like as a stomach?
Oh, boy, it was humdrum. I mean, until what's-his-name discovered Tony's Pizza.
Tony's Pizza?
Yeah, I was suffering from the pizza cravings until Tony's came along. Crispy crust and zesty sauces. Wow.
And so now... What's that?
Another pizza craving. Just thinking about Tony sets it off.
Oh, where are you going?
He's going to get a Tony's Pizza, and I follow him anywhere.
Does your stomach send you pizza craving signals? Oh, wow. Tony's, the Pizza Cravers Pizza.
There are words men live by, words of strength, of wisdom, and of peace. We urge you to find the spiritual comfort and guidance we all so greatly need by attending your place of worship regularly.
Show starts in 1 minute.
Yum, yum. It's a meal in itself. Our all-meat super dog. Enjoy one now.
And now, on with the show.
Hello and welcome to the movie quiz, the home of throat clearing. I am your host, Chris Mann Nelson, and in just a couple minutes, you and I will be embarking on a trivia odyssey through 50 points of movie trivia, puzzles, all kinds of stuff. Tonight is the last game of our mini season, our Marcellus Wallace's Briefcase mini season. We've got a Yaddle card on the line. Next week is going to be the championship of this past season, this long season that started sometime in like May. But it's finally ending, and next week is going to be the finale. Anybody can play in the finale. The teams that finish first in these mini seasons get their Yaddle card, which are their free passes if they want to strategically use them if they think they might not know a question. So there is one more Yaddle card up for grabs, and it's that will be decided tonight. So let's jump in. Let's go for it right here. Ooh, yeah. Into in-game mode. Goodbye. There it is, and it's still circular because StreamYard updated their shit, and it's circular now. All right, so there's no more choices to be made for the season. For this, we've done our choices for our first theme of crime. We did putting a crew together. We did Lady Killer, and now it is time for Concoms. A round all about hilarious hustlers, comedies or movies about con men, con women, non-binary con people who either it's a straight up comedy or it is or there's funny undertones to the film. All right, so here we go. Let's jump into question number 1. In Catch Me If You Can, amiable conman Frank Abagnale Jr. scams which airline out of free flights and paychecks? Is it TWA, Pan Am, KLM, or Lufthansa? Talking about in the movie. I think they changed it slightly from the reality to the movie, but this is a movie quiz, not the reality quiz. All right. Which one? You could probably picture he buys all the little models and he's like scratching, he soaks them in the bathtub. Tonight it is spooky times. Spooky times have begun. I've got pumpkin pie, beers, 1 beer. All right. And 18 teams in there today. Nicely. That's great. That's awesome. All right. So in Catch Me If You Can, he scams Pan Am. He commits a Pan Am scam. All right. Nicely done. 84% of teams. Good start to the game. Next question in Concoms. What director followed up his 1986 remake of Little Shop of Horrors with another remake, the dueling con man comedy Dirty Rotten Scoundrels, starring Steve Martin and Michael Caine? Looking for the director on that one. What director followed up his he did 2 remakes in a row, Little Shop and Dirty Rotten Scoundrels, which I could have sworn when I was researching this, I was going to write about how that Dirty Rotten Scoundrels was a remake of a foreign film. I could have sworn it was a remake, but apparently I was wrong about that. How's everybody doing? You got your Halloween costumes ready? Is everybody? I'm going for. I haven't started yet, but I'm going to do a Little Shop Halloween costume. I'm going to do the rig. I'm going to do my version of the rig, the Seymour rig, where you have a fake arm holding a plant, and then you make the puppet, the Audrey puppet coming out of the pot. We'll see. I need a challenge every year. Last year I did the shrunken head guy, and it was the best, so I got to top it this year. All right, so this one, who is that director who did Little Shop? It is Frank Oz. It's been a little while since we have returned to Oz, but we're back. Frank Oz is back on the board here in season 12. All right, here comes question number 3. It's multiple choice once again. Released 10 years after the Best Picture winning original, The Sting 2, real movie, couldn't get Robert Redford or Paul Newman to return, recasting them with Mac Davis and what classic sitcom star? Was it Ed Asner, John Astin, Alan Alda, or Jackie Gleason? They're playing the same characters as noted handsome men Robert Redford and Paul Newman, but absolutely wild that they made this movie in like 1981. 83, because this thing is 73. Best Picture of 73. So we got in the chat, we got some a witch costume for Rosemary, a Deadpool costume. All right, so had a few guesses for Alan Alda, but more teams got it right than not. You knew it was Jackie Gleason. Jackie Gleason replacing, I think, Newman's character, Paul Newman's character. Really let himself go in those couple of years. All right, question number 4. Billy Ray Valentine, a street hustler in what city, gets conned himself when the wealthy Duke brothers give him waspy stockbroker Louis Winthorpe III's job and home in the film Trading Places. Looking for the city where that movie primarily takes place. Because this is one of those movies that has it's one of those early 80s classics like Stripes that has like, it's a 1 hour of great movie. And then the movie ends. It should have just because a movie, I guess, can't be 1 hour long in like the late 20th century. It just keeps going. And there's the whole thing with the train and Dan Aykroyd's in blackface. It's all ill-advised. Almost none of it's good, but the first hour is like spectacular. That first hour, not everyone knows this movie. Clearly from the chat, it ends in New York. That shitty part where they go to New York from Philadelphia. The majority of the film takes place in Philadelphia. All right, about 42% on that one. All right, here comes question number 5. It's a multiple choice. How many members of Monty Python have roles in the grifter comedy A Fish Called Wanda? Is it 2, 3, 4, or 5? How many of them are in this? Hey, I cleared my throat. Take a drink. I'm clearing my throat because I'm taking a drink, I think. Pumpkin beer. All right, so here's the deal. I might get refuted on this one because overwhelmingly people put the answer that I originally thought it was, but I had to adjust off the top of my head. But through my research, it's 2. It's Palin and Cleese, not 3. I thought there were 3. So if you know that's right, if Eric Idle's in it, I don't know if Eric Idle's in it, but I couldn't find him in there. If he's somewhere in uncredited cameo that didn't show up and I couldn't look it up, let me know. But as far as my research told me, it's Palin and Cleese. I thought it was 3. Research tells me 2, but prove me wrong or prove me right retroactively. But we'll figure it out. But 2 is the answer we're going with for now. All right. Question number 6. Adding insult to injury after a bowling hustle gone wrong, Woody Harrelson's character in Kingpin finds out that his last name, has become a verb, meaning to be up a creek without a paddle, to have the whole world in the palm of your hand and blow it. So just what is his last name that became a pejorative? Adding insult to injury after a bowling hustle gone wrong, Woody Harrelson's character finds out that his last name, has become a verb. meaning to blow it, basically. Yes, Aykroyd the messy Santa costume would be nice. That would be good. As would Bill Murray in Kingpin, I think, at the end with his hair sticking up during the bowling tournament. All right, time is up for this question. He finds out when Randy Quaid, crazy Randy Quaid, says that he just offhandedly says that he's getting Munsoned out there in the middle of nowhere. Roy Munson is his name, and yeah, he gets to get Munsoned is means to absolutely blow it. All right, question number 7. Harrelson also ran sports cons alongside Wesley Snipes in 1992's White Men Can't Jump. The acting pair reunited 4 years later for what spiritual sequel about a subway heist? This movie might come up again in the championship, actually. Based on the categories. I'm doing all the mashup categories from all throughout the season. And mashed up 2 that lead themselves back to this movie. It's not White Men Can't Take the Subway. It's a spiritual sequel, meaning it's one of those, like, it's not really a sequel, but like people were kind of touting it almost like because it has the vibe, because it's the 2 of them and they're riffing and they're stealing shit in the movie Money Train, featuring noted alleged or convicted murderer Robert Blake. Was he convicted? I don't know. He's the bad guy. He's like I mean, it's great when a real bad person is the bad guy, because it makes the movie easier to get behind. All right, and your final question of the round, multiple choice. In Matchstick Men, Nick Cage plays a con artist suffering from Tourette's and OCD, whose latest swindle gets complicated by someone claiming to be I can read, claiming to be what relation to him shows up: his son, his brother, his daughter, or his sister. I got this. I redid it. I redid the thing, and it's a little more legible. Now. You can actually see the movie quiz logo bouncing around like an old DVD screensaver. All right, in Matchstick Men, Ridley Scott's Matchstick Men. It's who is it? Is it Evan Rachel Wood? Who, I forget now. She claims to be his daughter, his alleged daughter. Is it really his daughter? You have to watch Matchstick Men. It's a pretty good movie. I say do it. Watch that movie. All right, so that's the end of round 1. Oh yeah, Alison Lohman. I think it is Alison Lohman. You're right. All right, so let's take a look at your scores and standings here. After 1 round, we've got Wapitix the movie star and Me with 1, Rat Pack and Ulrich von Lichtenstein with 2, Stallone on a Phone and Trivia Rocks and Sterling Cooper and Bells of the Ballsack and Oh Boy Movies and Chris the Curator, all with 3. Taco Truck Mafia, the OG Recipe with 4, Avis and Bobo with 5, The Helsinki Syndrome with 6, Hans Still Solo is entering his hot girl brat spooky season biatches, and Old Men Screaming with 7 and tied atop the leaderboard with perfect 8s to start the game. Powder from the movie Powder and Marley's Chains. So that brings us to our picture round in the theme of Los Angeles. We've done The Coast is Toast. We've done Not Quite LA. Means it is time for the Ghosts of Old LA. Now, I think that you've been avoiding that because it's very opaque and you don't know what the hell that means. And so let's see what it means. It means it's actually pretty easy. I have cleared my throat. Take a drink. I've got here 8 movies that are period pieces set in Los Angeles. And I've erased the actor from it. Where's the picture? The picture's not showing up in the question for some reason. It's glitching. But here it is in the stream. So just name the actor. I'm looking for the actor for all of these. These are all movies that were period pieces set in LA, various points in Los Angeles history, both real and imagined. And just name the actor. All right, so here we go. I'm gonna give you 4 minutes to do it. Let's say 4 minutes. All right, so best of luck here, gang. Good luck. You're a little more than halfway through. About a minute and a half. A little more than a minute and a half left. Put this back up since it's not showing up in the question for some reason. All right, guys, we're starting that 15-second timer now. Time is ticking down, so if you haven't submitted or you need to change your answer, that is just about it. All right, so for this one, like I said, you had to name the actor who's been removed from a period piece of some kind here. And here, let's reveal them here. Number one, from Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, that is Leonardo DiCaprio. 2, from Who Framed Roger Rabbit, that's Bob Hoskins. 3, from Gangster Squad, opposite Ryan Gosling, that is Emma Stone. Number 4, from Ed Wood, that's Johnny Depp. I thought that one was going to be I thought that was going to be too obvious, but it would prove to be a little trickier. Number 5, from Boogie Nights, that is Heather Graham. Number 6, Ryan Gosling, that is Gosling himself, who was erased in The Nice Guys. Number 7, R.I.P., that is James Earl Jones in The Sandlot. And number 8, from another Paul Thomas Anderson. I could have done like a whole Paul Thomas Anderson period LA from Inherent Vice. That is Joaquin Phoenix. All right, so let's reveal your scores and show how you did. Good numbers for DiCaprio and Emma Stone. And Gosling. Lowest one was Johnny Depp in Ed Wood. All right, interesting. All right, so before we check in with your scores, let's do the short round. The short round is all about MacGuffins in this mini season, and what's left is that center door human MacGuffins. All right, so here we go. Human MacGuffins. Order does count for this one. So name the following characters who served as the human MacGuffin in their movie. Number 1, a titular soldier played by Matt Damon. 2, Orson Welles' character in The Third Man. 3, Mila Jovovich in The Fifth Element. And 4, Marlon Brando in Apocalypse Now. Looking for the character names. They were the MacGuffins. They drove the plots of each of these 4 films. Don't give me the name of the movie. Give me the name of the character. All right, so this one's half as long as the other round. So let's give it 2 minutes, and I'll give you more music that I wrote and performed. All right, here's 2 minutes on the clock. Good luck. Yes, Rosemary. Everybody clear your throat. Clear it. A little under a minute left. A little under a minute left on this one. Grading some of these. They look good. They look good. All right, I am going to start the timer. 15 seconds on the clock. All right. That is time for this short round. Fade out the music. All right. So let's go over these. Let me just make sure that everybody's getting their points. Number one, the answer we're looking for there is Private James Ryan in Saving Private Ryan. He was the titular soldier played by Matt Damon. Number two, that is, somebody was close. They said lemon, but it's lime. It's Harry Lime is your answer for the Third Man. Awesome movie. Highly recommend The Third Man. Classic cinema. I'm very cultured. Number three, I think everybody who submitted got this right. It's Lilu Dallas Multipass. And number four, it's Colonel Kurtz, Colonel Walter E. Kurtz, Walter Kurtz. Any of those got you the point. Nicely done. So now let's take a look at your scores and standings here at roughly the halfway point of the game. We've got Wapitix, the movie star, with 3, Trivia Rocks with 4, Rat Pack. Did I make the? I didn't make the grading happen, did I? Let's do that. There we go. Okay. Now let's look at it for real. Wapitix, the movie star, with 4, Trivia Rocks with 6, Rat Pack, and See You Next Trivia, and Oh Boy Movies, all with 6. Ulrich von Lichtenstein with 7. Stallone on a phone at home with 8. Chris the Curator with 9. Taco Truck with 10. Sterling Cooper and Bells of the Ballsack and Avis and Bobo all with 13. Marley's Chains and Old Men Screaming with 16. Helsinki with 18. Powder from the movie Powder, and Han Still Solo with 19. All right, so that's going to bring us to our mystery round, our puzzle mystery round. All of the puzzle rounds in this Marcellus Wallace mini season are mystery rounds, and what we've got left is when do you want to solve this puzzle? Remember, the name of the round might not seem obvious at first, but it might help you solve the puzzle as we go. All right, so here we go. When do you want to solve this puzzle? Answer these questions and then figure out what the answers have in common. All right, here we go. Question number 1. What 1987 film about the Japanese occupation of China during World War II marks the only time to date that multiple Oscar winners Steven Spielberg and Christian Bale have worked together? What 1987 film about the Japanese occupation of China marks the only time that Spielberg and Bale have worked together? So I found a Yaddle card on eBay, a true Yaddle card for $1. I don't know why some people are selling them for like $100. This one was found for $1, and then like $1.50 shipping. So I went for it. It was supposed to arrive September 30th. Haven't gotten it yet. So I really hope that it arrives. I will give a true, if it does show up, I'm gonna mail it to whoever wins the whole championship after next week. All right, so you get a figurative virtual Yaddle card for to go into next week as a free pass question. But if you win the whole thing, you get that actual Yaddle card if it shows up. Otherwise, I'll do a drawing of Yaddle for you and mail that to your house. How do you like that? Whether you want it or not. All right, your answer here is Empire of the Sun. Empire of the Sun is the only movie that they've worked on together. All right, question number 2. Like the director's previous film James and the Giant Peach, this 2001 Henry Selick bomb starring Brendan Fraser blended live action and stop motion animation. Like the director's previous film, James and the Giant Peach, this 2001 Henry Selick bomb starring Brendan Fraser blended live action and stop motion. I had no idea. I didn't know this was a Henry Selick joint. Wild. Henry Selick, so good. This is the only time, aside from the little bit of James and the Giant Peach, this is the only time he did live action. All right, time is up for this round. That bomb of a film was Monkey Bone. Monkey Bone is the Brendan Fraser, Henry Selick joint. All right, question number 3. Finish the full title of the 2014 Best Picture winner, Birdman, parentheses, or the blank, 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 blank. 4 words. Just give me those 4 words, please. Excuse me. I've switched from throat clearing to hiccuping. Yeah, just give me, there we go. Yeah. Just give me those 4 words. You don't have to give me the Birdman part. Hey, there it is again. Drink. I mean, hang on. I'm getting some heat, getting some good heat for the drawing of Yaddle. And also, yes, Bale has 2 Oscars. He has one for The Fighter and one for Vice. All right, so maybe let's see what happens with maybe you'll get both if you do well enough. Maybe depending on how hot this item becomes, maybe the drawing will be the first place prize and the real Yaddle card will be second behind my beautiful Yaddle art. All right, so it's Birdman or the unexpected virtue of ignorance. The unexpected virtue of ignorance are those 4 words missing from the Birdman title. All right, here comes question number 4. What R-rated comedy that featured supporting performances from Rachel McAdams, Isla Fisher, and Bradley Cooper was the 5th highest grossing movie of 2005? What R-rated comedy that featured supporting performances from Rachel McAdams, Isla Fisher, and Bradley Cooper was the 5th highest grossing movie of 2005? What a time. Not even 20 years ago, comedy could be number 5 for the year. That shit would never happen now. Everything is... I'm cranky. Now I'm cranky. It is weird though, right? Like comedies used to be a major force at the box office. And it's just ended. Because every comedy ends up streaming now too. I feel a throat clear coming on. Get your drinks handy. It's a good one. Had to turn from the mic for that one. All right, so this R-rated comedy that was 5th highest grossing at the box office in 2005 is Wedding Crashers. It's Wedding Crashers. Yeah, young Bradley Cooper, young Rachel McAdams. Question number 5, Russell Brand. Cool. Russell Brand played the title role in what 2011 comedy remake? Russell Brand, man, that guy has had an arc. Russell Brand played the title role in what 2011 comedy remake? Is he shitty enough now that I need to do this? He's real shitty. Yeah, okay. Ryan confirms. Okay. Good. 100%. Yeah, he sucks. I mean, he always sucked, but he was at least he could be entertaining. And get him to the Greek, starring who else is in Get Him to the Greek. I'm not talking about Jonah Hill. All right. So someone answered for this throat clearer. It's not the throat clearer. That would be, every movie would be better with someone who is constantly clearing their throat. That's, representation matters. All right, it's Arthur. Arthur is the movie that he starred in, and Helen Mirren's in it. What's going on? That's where comedy started to decline. That was like 2011. All right, question. We got 2 more regular questions, then you got to figure out the theme. Question number 6. In addition to its Best Actress nominated lead in the titular role, what 2002 biopic also featured Alfred Molina as Diego Rivera and Jeffrey Rush as Leon Trotsky? In addition to its Best Actress nominated lead in the titular role, what 2002 biopic also featured Alfred Molina as Diego Rivera and Jeffrey Rush as Leon Trotsky? All right, yeah, we're coming up to it here. Coming up to the time when you got to figure it all out. I will remind you of what these answers were, in case you're unable to write it down or anything like that. The answer here is Frida, the Frida Kahlo movie. Frida is your answer. All right, and your last regular question before you figure it out. What 2023 video game adaptation starring Josh Hutcherson was a surprise hit, pulling in almost $300 million? What 2023 video game adaptation starring Josh Hutcherson was a surprise hit, pulling in almost $300 million? Oh, it's locked. I was like, why is nobody answering? Because I accidentally locked it. Sorry, friends. Messed you up. Yeah, Russell Brand in the Diddy story. That would be amazing. Just a soup of canceled mess. All right, yeah, there we go. There's a bunch of correct answers. I was like, is this that much of a stumper? No. All right. So this movie from last year, it was Five Nights at Freddy's. Five Nights at Freddy's. All right. And here we go. Question number 8. What do the titles here have in common? Empire of the Sun, Monkey Bone, Birdman, or The Unexpected Virtue of Ignorance, Wedding Crashers, Arthur, Frida, and Five Nights at Freddy's. I'll give you a little bit of extra time. Pour these over, look at them. What do they got in common? One team was on it right away, on the theme immediately. I'm giving you a decent amount of time to think this one over. Look it over too. All right, but I think the time has come. The time has come to start that 15-second timer, my friends. Look closely at those titles. They do not all involve throat clearing. I mean, they might. I'd have to check closely. I'd have to check with my 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 fellow throat clearers. All right, only one team got this. All right, so you got Empire of the Sun, Monkey Bone, The Unexpected Virtue of Ignorance, Wedding Crashers, Arthur, Frida, and Five Nights at Freddy's. They all contain abbreviations for the days of the week. They all contain abbreviations for days of the week in order. So it was trickier than I thought it would be. One team got it, Avis and Bobo. I'll shout them out directly. Avis and Bobo got it, and they got it immediately. The last one, it was, but it's in there. Yes, it was sus, fair enough, but it was in there. Nonetheless, SAT is in there. All right, so let's take a look at our scores and standings here as we head into the double points round. We've got boom, Trivia Rocks. Did this not get graded? No, it got graded. Okay. Wapitix, the movie star, with 4. Trivia Rocks with 6. Oh Boy Movies 6. Rat Pack with 7. See you next trivia. And Ulrich von Lichtenstein with 9. Stallone with 10. Chris the Curator 13. Taco Truck Mafia with 15. Sterling Cooper and Bells of the Ballsack with 19. Avis and Bobo 21. Old Men Screaming also 21. Marley's Chains 23. Powder from the movie Powder and Helsinki Syndrome 25. And Han Solo holding on to the top spot with 26. So that brings us to our double points round. We've been talking about soundtracks, and this last one is double tracks. So basically, I'm going to show you 3 options. It's the two truths and a lie format. Don't pick. There's 2 possible and there's 2 correct answers, but there's also a fake out. Each correct answer is worth 1, but if you pick the fake one, it wipes you out to 0. So if you know 1, you don't want to risk it, and you can just pick that one and hit submit. All right, so I'm going to ask you about some of the biggest soundtracks of all time, give you 3 songs. You have to pick the 2 that were on that massive, momentous soundtrack. Okay, so here comes question number 1. Which Prince songs were on Purple Rain? Your options are When Doves Cry, Let's Go Crazy, and 1999. Oh, and great question, Avis and Bobo. You haven't doubled yet. The reason I didn't make it a choice is because if you haven't yet, I'm just automatically going to do it for you for this last one. If you haven't doubled up yet, it's just going to be automatic this week. Whatever you get, I'm going to double it for you. I will do the work for you. So which 2 of these were on Purple Rain? Good amount of teams playing it safe on this one, knowing that When Doves Cry, 100% on the Purple Rain soundtrack, but the other one is Let's Go Crazy. Let's Go Crazy. Dearly beloved, you're gathered here today to get through this thing called life. 1999 was, I believe, its own album. It was the title track on its own album. Throat clear. All right, question number 2. The Bodyguard soundtrack, insanely big soundtrack, contained which 2 Whitney Houston songs? I Will Always Love You, I'm Your Baby Tonight, and I Have Nothing. Which are the 2 that were on the Bodyguard soundtrack? One is on a different Whitney Houston album. All righty. So, which two of these are? There's one very obvious answer, of course. So I figure you can go with that one if you want. And a lot of teams did that. That's "I Will Always Love You." But "I Have Nothing." "I Have Nothing" is the other song that was on the Bodyguard soundtrack. Song number 3. Which pair of Bee Gees songs were on the massive Saturday Night Fever soundtrack? "Tragedy," "How Deep Is Your Love," and "You Should Be Dancing" are your options. Which two of these are from Saturday Night Fever? All right, time is up. Most teams did. This was the closest closest grouping. Most teams got both of these right. It is "How Deep Is Your Love" and "You Should Be Dancing" because it's Saturday night and you have a fever and you should be dancing. So nicely done. Most teams got both of those right. So, question number 4. This is for geriatric millennials like myself. Which two songs were on the soundtrack for Baz Luhrmann's Romeo and Juliet? "Love Fool" by the Cardigans, "Number One Crush" by Garbage, or "Iris" by the Goo Goo Dolls? Those are your 3 options. Which two were on there? Are you around the age of 40? Then you'll get this right. That should be that's like the subtitle of this show. Are you about 40? You'll do fine. Any game that I write, movies or not. All right. So the you're way in for this one, even if you don't know the that soundtrack, the Romeo and Juliet soundtrack. It was a big soundtrack. But hopefully you remembered maybe that "Iris," the Goo Goo Dolls song, was from "City of Angels." It was on the "City of Angels" soundtrack with Nick Cage and Meg Ryan. So "Love Fool" and "Number One Crush" are your answers. All right, most teams did well on that one. Here comes number 5. These two anachronistically 80s originals were Dirty Dancing soundtrack. Were on the Dirty Dancing soundtrack. "Hungry Eyes" by Eric Carmen, "Heaven Is a Place on Earth." This is riddled with typos. Holy shit. "Heaven Is a Place on Earth" by Belinda Carlisle, and "She's Like the Wind" by Patrick Swayze. It always was weird to me that all the music there were like real like early 60s songs, but then there were like he's like the end of the movie, Swayze's dancing to like the song by Jennifer Warnes, the main song, the "Dirty Time of My Life," and everything's like super 80s. It's bizarre. They should have done them like they should have done these songs, but in a with a 60s production. That would have been cool. That would have been interesting. All right. Time is up on this one. I think nobody picked the decoy on this one. It's "Hungry Eyes" by Eric Carmen and "She's Like the Wind" by Swayze. The Swayze got himself onto the soundtrack and charted a pretty massive hit with that one. All right, number 6. Top Gun contained which pair of Kenny Loggins songs? "Meet Me Halfway," "Danger Zone," "Playing with the Boys." Loggins was just cranking out the movie songs, the soundtrack tunes in the early to mid 80s. He did the Caddyshack songs. He did Top Gun, and there's another movie that whatever the fake answer is here. It's from that movie. He was not playing around. All right. So obviously, this one we had a decent split between the right answer, people playing it safe, with the one answer you knew it was Danger Zone. Of course, it's Danger Zone. But Meet Me Halfway. That is from the Sylvester Stallone arm wrestling truck driving classic Over the Top. Playing with the Boys is in Top Gun. I think it's when Maverick is truly playing with the boys during the beach scene, right? Is that where that is? All right, we've got two left. Which pair of songs found popularity after their inclusion on the Garden State soundtrack? New Slang by the Shins, Such Great Heights by the Postal Service, Don't Panic by Coldplay. And I will tell you, this one is sort of a trick question. It's a little bit of a trick question. So just be careful. It's tricky. I'm trickier in this question than I normally am. Not proud of it, but that's why I'm warning you. I'm being as transparent as I can. Because I feel guilty. I don't like being tricky. Overly tricky. Needlessly tricky. All right. So the trickiness here comes from the fact that New Slang, it was like a big, this soundtrack brought the Shins to like people's attention. But the trick here is there is a version of Such Great Heights, but it's by Iron and Wine. The Postal Service, the original Postal Service song is not actually on the soundtrack. Tricky. Again, if you're about 40, you get it, you'll do fine. All right. And so I apologize if you fell into that trap. I tried to make it as obvious as possible. And here comes your last one. I will never stop asking about the Batman Forever soundtrack. Which two songs were on the 1995 Batman Forever soundtrack? Kiss from a Rose by Seal, Hold Me, Thrill Me, Kiss Me, Kill Me by U2, or The Beginning is the End is the Beginning by Smashing Pumpkins? Yeah, the hint. I had to give the hint. I saw people do switching it after I gave the hint. Because it was too, if you read it quickly, it wasn't fair. But I have to write a whole game every week. So I create these categories for myself. Make it complicated. There's only so many major soundtracks. But some of pretty much all of these were like really massive. All right. So as always with the double points round, there's an obvious one. There's a layup, which is Kiss from a Rose. But which one was, these are all on a Joel Schumacher Batman soundtrack too. But Hold Me, The Beginning is the End is the Beginning by the Pumpkins was on the next one. It was on Batman and Robin. Hold Me, Thrill Me, Kiss Me, Kill Me was on, didn't play in the movie at all. Neither did Kiss from a Rose. Played over the credits for like 15 seconds a piece, but that was enough in the 90s. All right. So that is the end of that. Let's take a look at your scores as we head into the final stretch here, the post-credits blitz. We've got See You Next Trivia with 9, Rat Pack 16, Stallone with 17, Trivia Rocks with 18, Ulrich von Lichtenstein with 19, Bells of the Ballsack with 26, Chris the Curator 27, Taco Truck Mafia with 28, Sterling Cooper and Old Men Screaming tied with 32. We've got Avis and Bobo with 36, Marley's Chains 37, a two-way tie for second. with 40 between Powder and Han Still Solo. And jumping into first place with 41 points is the Helsinki Syndrome. So that brings us to the post-credits blitz. This is it. I'm going to ask you three pairs of questions. One's a little easier, in my opinion. That's worth 1 point, or you can answer the harder one for 2. Here we go. Let's do it. Question your first set of questions, and it's usually it's calling back and crossing over previous things. So name the actor who plays Matt Farrell, the human MacGuffin who Bruce Willis must protect in Live Free or Die Hard, or name the actor who plays Eddie Bunker, the human MacGuffin who Bruce Willis must protect in the movie 16 Blocks. So I'm looking for the actor names. One is worth 1 point, one is worth 2. You decide which one you know. If you want to, maybe I think I know the 2-pointer, because if you get it wrong, you can't get your 1 point. Requires strategy. All right, time is up for this one. Yep, most teams went for the 1-pointer. You know that was Justin Long, and who plays the human MacGuffin in 16 Blocks? It's Mos Def. He changed his name to Yassine Bey in the last couple of years, or that wasn't his name, or like Mos Def is a stage name, but I think he changed his name to Yassine Bey. I don't think that was his original name. All right, your second set of questions. Hang on, here we go. Name the author who penned the source novel behind the David Fincher mystery thriller Gone Girl, or name the author who penned the source novel behind the David Fincher mystery thriller The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. So you got 2 David Fincher. We had mystery rounds, so we got a mystery question. These both are David Fincher movies with girl in the title that are based on books. I need the last names. Last Jeopardy style rules. Last name only is fine, but first name is not enough. Yeah, I thought this one. Yeah, most people are going for the 2-pointer. They were kind of like a toss up. I almost toyed with making this like a fill in for 2 points because they're kind of on the same level. Gillian Flynn is the name of the Gone Girl author, and Stieg Larsson is the author of the Millennium books trilogy. All right, and your last question, your last set of questions for the game. Name the real Hall of Famer who unwittingly tries to assassinate Queen Elizabeth after the Naked Guns I Love LA soundtracked third act baseball montage. So we got LA, we got soundtracks here. There's I Love LA shows up in a lot of movies, but most famously to me, the end of Naked Gun. So name the real Hall of Famer who unwittingly tries to assassinate Queen Elizabeth, or name the fake Italian opera singer that Leslie Nielsen's Lieutenant Frank Drebin pretends to be to get on the field before the Naked Guns I Love LA soundtracked third act baseball montage. It's a baseball Hall of Famer, gang. All right. So if you got the opera singer one, you're forever in my heart because it's one of my favorite gags. So it's Reggie Jackson, it's Mr. October, he must kill the Queen. And hey, It's Enrico Palazzo. Enrico Palazzo is the Italian opera singer that Frank Drebin knocks out and pretends to get on the field. All right, so it's not OJ. A few people put OJ, which is a good guess because Hall of Fame, killing people, naked gun. I got you. It makes sense, but it was baseball. All right, so that is the end of our game. Let's see where we ended up. We've got see you next trivia with 9, Rat Pack 16. I don't think they're playing. Stallone on a phone at home with 17, Trivia Rocks 19, Ulrich von Lichtenstein with 20, Bells of the Ballsack 29, Taco Truck Mafia and Chris the Curator also with 29, Sterling Cooper Roland Deli Bets with 35, Old Men Screaming 37, Marley and Ava Zabobo tied with 40. And a three-way tie. Holy shit. With 46 points apiece is Powder, Han Still Solo, and the Helsinki Syndrome. Everybody getting a 46 to wrap up the game. I'm pretty sure that means Helsinki got another Yaddle card. I think that leaves the count at 3 for Helsinki and 1 for Han Still Solo going into next week's championship finale. So again, those teams get it's not an automatic free point. You might blow it on a question that you would have gotten right anyway. So I wanted to introduce some strategy to it, not just hand out points. But anybody, and beyond that, anybody can win win gold, silver, or bronze. All right. So next week is the championship. We will be playing for that one for the title of season 12 next week at 9:00. Brand new questions, mashup of all the previous Daredevil games and Pulp Fiction games, etc. All right, so have a great week. We'll see you back here for the championship next Wednesday night. McClunky.